Queen songs generally consist of a number of elements, the most notable being the vocals, Brian May's guitar solos, the lyrics, and Roger Taylor's astounding drum playing. But wait, aren't we forgetting something or someone? Oh yes, the most overlooked member of the band, John Deacon. John's an amazing musician and songwriter. He's responsible for creating some of the rock group's biggest hits, including Another One Bites the Dust, You're My Best Friend, I Want to Break Free, Spread Your Wings, the list goes on. However, today I wish to celebrate the genius of John Deacon through breaking down some of his greatest bass lines. Under Pressure, this single marked what was an iconic collaboration between Queen and David Bowie, although credit has to go to John for coming up with the iconic bass riff.
Deaky, of course, came up with this riff, ding 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 ding.
And then we went for a pizza and he forgot it. It completely escaped his mind. We got back, and I remembered it.
Deacon mostly plays the same simple though catchy bass line throughout. It proves that bass riffs do not need to be complex to engage listeners. Sometimes simplicity is key. I mean, the bass line only consists of 2 notes, yet that doesn't stop it from being instantly recognizable. Other instruments and sounds, including the electric guitar, piano, and percussion with clicks and claps, are solely there to complement the bass. The only time in which the bass takes a back seat is during the bridge, where Freddie hits an incredibly high note, which reflects this notion of tension and pressure which the single creates. It's clear that John Deacon's songwriting was particularly strong during this period, and that is only further reinforced through the next number. Another One Bites the Dust is one of Queen's biggest hits, and it's to no surprise why. The single reflected how the band were not afraid to experiment with different genres of music. The song employs elements of disco. This is most apparent with the bass line, which was inspired by Chick's Good Times. Although the sound of Bites the Dust is not as bright, this is mainly due to how the track puts a large focus on the iconic bass riff. The rhythm electric guitar acts to complement the bass, and the same can be said for Brian May's electric guitar, which gives the number a heavier sound. Changes from the main bass line are subtle, solely being there to add variety to the song and to fit with Mercury's vocal performance. Undeniably, one of John's most overlooked bass riffs is the one for You're My Best Friend. The bass mainly acts to fit with the vocal melody, yet it also adds a warm and upbeat sound to this joyful track. It's in the key of C major. Due to it being major, it's bright and happy. The reason why the bass within this number is often disregarded is because it's not especially prominent. Rather, the piano and vocals are what stand out the most. Unlike the previous 3 singles, Breakthru was not written by Deacon, however that doesn't stop it from featuring a spectacular bass riff. The bass line is unique as a result of its fast pace, which complements this notion of speed, which is addressed through the song's instrumentation and music video. The bass riff played during the verses is incredibly simple, although that's partly what makes it so powerful. During the choruses and Brian May's guitar solo, John Deacon's bass changes to play a similar melody to that of the other instruments. This change reflects this sense of hope which the track puts a large emphasis upon. Queen fans continue to consider Dragon Attack's bass riff to be brilliant, and it's to no surprise. While the number is minimal in its approach, this doesn't detract from the astounding bass. The bass line is complemented by heavy drums which help to further convey the aggressive sound of the B-side. Much like the bass riffs for Under Pressure and Another One Bites the Dust, it's fairly simple but catchy. You can understand why the rock group performed this song live countless times. The main bass line for A Kind of Magic reflects how the band's music incorporated more pop around the mid-80s, although the bass was different for the version of this single which was featured during the credits for Highlander. A new bass line had to be written for the album version of this track, which would be more catchy. The bass riff we hear at first consists of the same melody, though rises in pitch. This is until the chorus, where it falls in line with the other instruments, only to go back to how it was during the first verse. The bass for the Millionaire Waltz is complex, especially when compared to the tracks we discussed earlier. The intro consists of bass and piano. The bass fits with the rich and intriguing sound of the piano. It isn't until later where the bass stands out again. During the second guitar solo, it features a playful sound. The bass on Millionaire Waltz will always stand out to me due to its fascinating sound. Yet another song from the game, It's Crazy Little Thing Called Love. The playful sound of the bass suits the rockabilly genre which the track employs. The bass riff is fast and repetitive, though is sure to put a smile on your face. While the bass here consists of a more artificial and therefore less human sound, I find this works well with the number. I say this because the single puts a large emphasis on synthetic sounds. It's said that Roger Taylor came up with the simple but charming bass line. I find the bass riff to have a video game-esque sound, although I may just be saying that because of the music video. With that said, those were some of John Deacon's greatest bass lines. If you would like to see me discuss more bass riffs by John, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, bye.